Can someone explain to me what is going on right now? The Knicks have just made a major roster move. According to reports, the Knicks have just signed former NBA champion PJ Tucker to the final roster spot of this team. We're going to break down all of the following details and explain why and the real reason the Knicks chose to add PJ Tucker to their team with that final roster spot. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on. As I always say, we are still on that goal of trying to reach 50,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content like this, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. The Knicks signed former NBA champion PJ Tucker to the roster. If you guys are just as confused as I am right now regarding this signing, don't worry. It sounds like we're all on the same page. Take a look at this Knicks roster. Just take a look at it from top to bottom. What do we need on this team? Just an outsider's perspective, even if you don't watch all the games, you probably know. We need more size. Do we need another guard? Do we need an undersized wing? No. We need size, especially when you consider that the Knicks center rotation right now is really 2 players. If you want to include Achua, that's 3. And one of those players is Mitchell Robinson, who is on a minutes restriction. Mind you, each and every single one of our players who plays center is dealing with some form of injury. Achua, hamstring. Karl-Anthony Towns dealing with a number of knee injuries throughout the season. And Mitchell Robinson, he just came back from injury. Why are we playing Russian roulette with the center position? Add size to this team now before it's too late. But it looks like the Knicks are not going in that direction. Instead, according to reports, they're moving in another direction. They're pivoting, and instead, they're targeting a former NBA champion in PJ Tucker to add to this team. Let's break down these following reports that we have from Shams of ESPN. Shout out to Shams for giving us the following information on the Knicks' latest roster move. According to him, free agent PJ Tucker plans to sign with the New York Knicks on a 10-day contract. The 14-year NBA veteran held discussions with multiple teams over the last week. Tucker, a 2021 NBA champion with the Bucks, gives the Knicks an enforcer and front court depth. According to Bagley, the Knicks see PJ Tucker as an integral addition to the locker room that has young veterans, but none with experience of Tucker. And again, he's a 14-year veteran that will be bringing a lot of that experience into the locker room. He has championship experience as well, too. The Knicks wanted somebody with an enforcer mentality, which is why they targeted Tucker. As I mentioned, the Knicks at this point in time, they stated the club has a need at center. But the Knicks, according to people in touch with them, have targeted Tucker because they believe the center position can be covered with the likes of Karl-Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson, and Precious Achua. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I first read this report, when I first heard about this, I'm still doing it. I'm still scratching my head. 39-year-old veteran, PJ Tucker. He's the one that you use your final roster spot to sign. The only silver lining here, the only one, is that the Knicks signed him to a 10-day contract. If you sign him to a 10-day contract, after 10 days, if you don't like him, you could waive him. You don't have to have him on the team anymore. And you can go out there and look at other players that potentially you still want to add to this team. So that is the only silver lining that I can take away from this signing, the fact that it's a 10-day. But I still don't understand why the Knicks made the move in the first place. According to Shams and Bagley, they stated the main reason that the Knicks made this move is because they wanted an enforcer and somebody that they can utilize in the front court. I'm sorry. Enforcer? 39-year-old PJ Tucker is an enforcer. He's going to be the guy you lean on to help calm down things in the game. Maybe he can be that veteran voice that you need in the locker room. That's the only thing he's going to be. You're utilizing your final roster spot for a voice. It can't be that deep. There has to be more to it. Well, I looked into this, and I looked a little bit further to see what the real reason was why the Knicks signed PJ Tucker. And shout out to Shams for giving us the following information. According to Shams, he states, Tucker has made 704 corner three-pointers over the past 12 seasons. That's 704 corner three-pointers over the past 12 seasons. The most in the NBA during that span. A proven playoff performer on both ends of the floor. Tucker has played 104 postseason games in his career. The Knicks rank in top 10 in corner three-pointers and are last in bench scoring, per ESPN research, making a depth signing in Tucker beneficial for both sides. Tucker is expected to be an option for the Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau across all front court positions while providing support for Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson, and Precious Achiuwa. Now we understand it. That was the main reason. I knew there was a little bit more. It couldn't only be that the Knicks see a 39-year-old PJ Tucker as a quote-unquote enforcer that can bring enforcer mentality in the locker room, can bring that voice in the locker room. There was more to it, and we found out what it was. The real reason is because of the way he shoots the corner three, and the Knicks really value that and need more scoring off the bench. That's one of the reasons they did it, but also so they could utilize him in the front court across all positions. What does that mean? That means what the Bucks did when you saw small ball PJ Tucker. The Knicks, they might run small ball PJ Tucker. Why do I say that? What did the Knicks do a few years ago when Julius Randle was out? What did they do again? Oh, yeah. They played Josh Hart out of position at that position. You're telling me they wouldn't play PJ Tucker at that position, even though he's played it in his career before? And clearly we understand how physical a defender he used to be in his career. I'm not saying that what he is right now is a physical defender. Honestly, I don't believe that's the case at all. But the Knicks right now, utilizing this roster spot for PJ Tucker, while I understand the real reason, you want more bench scoring, you want more three-point shooting, you want a threat in the corner. I understand that. But looking at your roster right now, do we really have the luxury of adding a, if you want to call him that, an oversized guard, 6'5" guard, quote unquote, forward in PJ Tucker? Do we have the luxury of adding that right now? Because the more I look at the roster, the more I review last night's game, the more I see the same thing. We have a deficiency in size. So why are we signing PJ Tucker? 6'5", 39-year-old veteran PJ Tucker, when Moses Brown, 7'2", Moses Brown is there. He's right there. And all you gotta do is pick up the phone and call him. The Knicks trust their depth at center? I'm sorry, what? You trust Achiuwa, Robinson, and Towns at center? All three of them were on the injury report yesterday. All of them. And you trust them for PJ? For PJ? I'm good. Not gonna. For PJ Tucker, you gotta be losing your mind. Jose says, who do you think will lose minutes signing PJ? Shamet. Shamet's out of the rotation. Shamet's gone. Shamet was rarely in there to begin with. And honestly, Shamet wasn't shooting the three like we needed him to. We needed his defense. So if I had to pluck somebody out of the rotation and replace him with PJ Tucker, that player would likely be Landry Shamet. But again, saving grace here is it's only a 10-day contract. So because of that, it likely means that the Knicks may waive him and make other roster moves down the line. The only reason I'm not sure about that, though, is they have a lot of belief in him. They have a lot of faith in him. And also, they had a major plan in place for why they signed him in the first place. You don't sign somebody to a 10-day contract with all of this behind him, with all of these ideas, with all of these plans, if you're not looking to hold on to him for the long term. So potentially, this might be it. This might be the Knicks' final roster for the rest of the season. And we might potentially see in the next 10 days, PJ Tucker take that 10-day contract and get it converted to a rest of the season contract. In my opinion, that would be a terrible move because we don't need a PJ Tucker. We need size right now. We needed a player like Moses Brown. And hopefully the Knicks can still be able to pull off a move like that. But as of right now, it's clear. They're not looking in that direction. The direction they're in is looking at Moses Brown. And they saw that direction. They saw that player. And they signed him immediately. And now Tucker will be on the Knicks. And I can guarantee he's likely going to see minutes under Tom Thibodeau. And the player likely removed from the rotation because of PJ Tucker is going to be Landry Shamet. But let me know, guys, how do you feel about the Knicks making this signing and adding PJ Tucker to the roster? Do you like the move? Do you not like the move? Do you not even care? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.